Aloha.
Yeah, mahalo, mahalo, family.
Yeah.
Man, much love. Thank you for that, brother. Thank you for that
No
energy
problem.
session.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Man, bro, that last movement that reminded me of you ever seen Tien? I think his name was Tien in Dragon Ball Z.
No, I haven't seen. I don't know that character.
Tien, he was one of the old characters, I think, with the green pants and the green shirt, and he had three eyes. He had a third eye.
Okay, okay.
Tien, he would do like a solar flare, and he
Oh
would
snap!
he
And
would
that's
hold
how
out
you.
his hands and then he would blind his opponents or something. He would do like a solar flare and he'd be like, ah! He'd be like,
The
ah! Or something like that.
that that's funny because the first thing we did was dealing with the eyes and
Okay.
bring the chi into the eyes.
Yeah, his third eye was open. He had a third eye. Yeah.
That's crazy. I need to
Yeah,
tap
man.
into Dragon Ball Z, honestly.
Wow, brother. That was very vibrant, man. Can you explain to anybody who I guess has never done anything like that before or might have been wondering what we were doing? Can you explain what we just did?
um, what we did was tap into the Universal Orchestra that's always playing, and we somewhat um, put ourselves in a position to be the composer that goes like this to make sure everything's going in flow. So all you're doing is just like, in a way, kind of cleaning up your instrument so that it's polished, so that you can vibrate at the universal frequency to your highest potential. So when you do things like that, it's really a attunement and an expression that you're doing and adding to and becoming a part of with the universe. You're always doing it, but most of the times you kind of forget about it or things kind of get in the way. So when you do these kind of practices, it gives you a chance to kind of allow yourself to remember um, how the song went, remember the lyrics. So that's how I explain it: is that you're really putting yourself in a position to be a hey to be a really important instrument to the universe. So yeah,
An important
qigong is
instrument.
powerful.
So an
Yeah,
important instrument to the universe, you're like fine tuning, you're tuning your instrument. I like how you say we're putting ourselves in the position of the composer,
yeah,
like
yeah.
an energetic composition. And when you talk about the universe, I mean the universe means one song.
Yes, it means
That's
one song.
one song. So that's what we were doing just now.
Yeah, and the universe has a really certain kind of composure that it holds itself to, and you have to recompose yourself. So you gotta recompose yourself, and by recomposing yourself, you it does you don't put up a fight. It's just an allowance and an acceptance when you recompose.
And
And
allow
it,
it.
yeah,
Man, so you like
and
stop, compose yourself, regain your
yeah,
composure. Yeah.
regain your composure. And then throughout the day, you have a better, you can extract better nutrients out the relationships that you have on a day to day basis. Like, because if you don't, you can miss some things, and then like you can kind of fall short, and then you end up with just rubbish, and you don't really be able to see the full picture of like interfacing with someone. But when you spend time attuning, then you can be fully present with everyone that you encounter as much as possible. So that's what we want to do, because a lot of times the trauma is just like lack of held space for individuals to feel heard. So when you see someone acting out, it's just space that wasn't held, and most likely they're not holding their space to the highest degree.
Mm.
So you can have a potential to like hold space for them, reorganize that through your filtration system because you channel the light in a certain kind of way, shock them, and jumpstart their journey. So you're always affecting everyone, even if they give you a fluff.
Hmm.
in the midst of your walk.
Wow. Wow. So it's not just about you.
It's not about you. It's not just about you. It's a whole thing that sometimes you don't even know what part of you is like showing up. So you just show up.
Wow. Wow, bro. So like, talk about that. You know, what is that? Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing.
Yeah. So talk about that extraction process. You know, the extraction out of your day, out of, you know, being with others, your relationship to others, and how doing energy work like this kind of bleeds into every aspect of your day.
It bleeds because you're tapping into the universal live stream.
Oh.
Like we're live right now, but it's a live stream that's happening across the board that's
Mm-hmm.
constantly you're interfacing with, and that interfacing by interfacing and practicing interfacing with it and have your own personal relationship with it, you become a better observer. In permaculture, the first principle, I think it's a principle, is to observe. Ob- Observation is the first principle because if you can't see things, and if you're not looking at, if you're not like observing without a filter, so much of the mind, you just like if you just not plainly just observing, you can miss things.
Mm-hmm.
So by doing something that is mind body um, awareness, such as qigong, it allows you to bring awareness to the whole three, so you can be a better representative of the force in a way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. A
So
Jedi.
so yeah. You become a better representative, a Jedi. So then like once you tap into that live stream, like you just start feeling like you start seeing everyone. People just start noticing that. Honestly, it's a cool, it's an amazing thing. Once you decide to like attune yourself and live your lifestyle in this kind of way, because
Mm-hmm.
people will start naturally like either asking questions or just knowing that like um, that you hold a certain kind of frequency without you saying much,
Mm-hmm.
and talking becomes like you don't have to you just don't have to say much, and the next step will be laid out for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an awesome thing to incorporate into your practice. I recommend it to like anyone doing this, no matter what your background is. And plus, if I'm being honest, you always doing it. And the most thing I want to talk about is like dance. It's like one of the biggest components of like mind, body, soul awareness. You know what I mean? Like to move your body in a certain kind of way to um, surf a song, so to speak, because that's all you're doing when you dance. And you really think about it, TikTok is only so popular because of the dance thing, right? Like they put a shout out Soldier Boy.
Mm-hmm.
They put a dance like to like everything, and that's because movement needs to be like represented, and it needs to be shown. Movement with song is important for the human beings to get into their body and allow themselves to feel how it feels to like have a functional moving body that isn't like inflamed.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that goes into the lymphatic system, which needs to be expressed to eliminate any toxins throughout the body. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just all going hand in hand. As much as like TikTok might seem to be like a in a way deteriorating the youth in a way, you can make that argument. But also, if you can take, if you see, that's where if you have the space, you can extract from anything, whether it's poison, the essence of love.
Mm.
Yeah,
Woo! Yes, yes. I agree. I
yeah.
agree.
So like a lot of times people can't see the full thing because they're not giving themselves the full time of day.
Mm.
You're not giving yourself the time of day. How you gonna see the full thing to be able to see how things are orchestrated and how everything is still working for the light?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can't. Then you're gonna have to be forced to only see the shadow. And yeah, seeing the shadow and making sure the shadow is known and not neglecting the shadow. It's important. But man, I feel like there's a high percentage of people that's like definitely doing that already. So we need to like balance both of those out as far as like really honoring both of them and coming up with some type of solution to not let them get us off balance.
Mm-hmm.
So either
Mm-hmm.
side. So yeah,
Wow. Wow, bro. So that makes me feel like it's like under the guise of entertainment, it's actually a celebration of movement.
woo, yeah, yeah. And under the guise of entertainment, it's a celebration of movement.
We're moving the body, you know? Yeah, yeah,
Wow, wow, damn. Oh,
yeah, yeah. So,
that's a quote.
you know, why Qigong for you specifically? You know, personally in your journey, why did you pick Qigong over maybe Tai Chi, over yoga, over other forms of meditation? Like, why Qigong for you?
I feel like, see, I play. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit of my background. I played basketball a lot of my life. You know, since from like probably the age of 6 years old to 22, something like that. I played basketball. So everyone, anybody in this live or whoever see it later on, they know that I used to dribble too much.
Mm,
So I used to get really, really like into like making a opponent like ankle breakers, just kind of like just really moving the ball in a way that can like make somebody fall. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
like
all I
and
was
one,
focused on.
and one,
Like
like street strip off.
I was a little bit turned down from and one. I can't go and one. People used to joke and say that, make it give you a little mad, like, oh man, you just trying to do. But no, I wasn't full and one. But it was just like I had handles. I had like the way my hands work. I could like I just focused on like dribbling. I could dribble really well, and when I was doing it, it was kind of before like handles became like a real focus. Like I was just like I always was like I was like now like handles like that's like one of the like favorite things for people to watch. You know what I'm saying? Shout out
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie Irving. He's working for the light also, and he got the greatest handle. So I with that being said, I feel like qigong was always in me because when I was crossing people up, I was doing qigong. That's how I feel looking back on it. I was like, nah, yeah, I was dribbling too much, but really I was just doing qigong so I could be doing what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just using the game of basketball, which is very finesse, which is really qigong-esque, to power up and energize myself. I just didn't know it at that time.
Wow. So you were undergoing a training process that you didn't know about.
No, I didn't realize until I got some vocab, and to know that was the category I was like doing things under. So yeah, like that's why like when I learned about it, qigong just kind of like it's like, oh man, I'm a natural at this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I do. Like moving energy is like what I do to the fullest. It's just like it's encoded into me. I can't not be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what I'm doing, like the chi is gonna be flowing through me, and I know
Right.
that.
Right.
So
Now,
yeah.
speaking of the chi flowing through you, Khalid, I remember being in a class one time, and it was a Tai Chi slash Qigong class. And there was a gentleman in there who went to the instructor after class, and I was just kind of eavesdropping, just kind of listening in. And he was like, I still can't feel it. It's been weeks. I still can't feel the energy. And the teacher was trying to tell him, you know, think like a baby, like a baby being born. The energy is like you know what
I
I'm
like
saying? It
that.
takes it takes time to grow. It takes time to birth. You're birthing something. And he was trying to tell him like, don't rush the process. Like it's taking place. Just keep going. you know, keep working with it, and you'll soon feel the energy. So my question to you, how long did it take you to finally start feeling that energy, you know?
For me, it was off rip. I'll be 100% honest.
Okay.
It was off rip. It was no like process of like figuring it out. No, it was as soon as it was like a try to make an energy ball, man, it was over with. Like I don't know. I'm saying I really believe that I was doing qigong all my life.
Mm.
Like I was just doing that, and it was natural. Like soon as like I got the instruction to know that qigong existed, I did it, and I'm like, oh, I can feel energy running through my body. But at the same time, that person, I also was doing a lot of I was already on the light spectrum. So the thing is, sometimes when people can't feel it, we gotta go to what their fuel source is.
Mm.
So if their fuel source is you know, somewhat dense, then it might be a little bit of a lag time to feel that baby like energy.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So
Because it's subtle.
it's so subtle, and it's hard to feel something subtle when you like you know you you're doing certain things on a day-to-day basis. So like but talking to anyone out there though, to to give yourself a better chance to readily feel this energy, you want to start redesigning your fuel intake to what is represented in this world as light, and look
Oh,
at
go
what
into
is
that. Yeah, explain
what,
that.
look into what is represented into light as much as possible, and, and put the categories in density, loose categories, and go from there. And if you study plants and you study what is the most complex ecosystem in the world, um, and you'll come to realize that the tropical rainforest represents that to the highest. And any animal that eats from that, such as parrots, they can somewhat talk. It's just like it just makes the most sense in an evolutionary step that in order to feel the subtle energy like force, you want to eat what's closest to the sun.
Okay, so like
And
sun-kissed foods.
yeah, sun kissed foods as much as possible. And that's how you can feel the energy coming through your body when you get instructed to do some type of qigong movement. Um, and just even if you are eating dense things, it will help out, and you will eventually feel it, if not off rip. Some people don't need to like change up their fuel intake to feel the chi. You know what I mean? You know, that's not. I say that, but I don't say that to say that it's like a one-off thing. It is like exceptions. Everyone is different, so keep that in mind. But if you are a person that right now is eating whatever, and I tell you to do this and you can't feel it, you might have to start knocking some things out your lifestyle to be able to feel that kind of solar energy, because it's talking different.
Mm-hmm.
It's talking real. It's talking super different.
And you know, speaking to that as well, Halid, you know, there might be like, suppose there's an individual, because there's a lot of people who we take kind of like pseudo energy. You know, I myself, I remember there were a lot of years that I was indulging in caffeine, coffee, energy drinks. You know, have you ever had any of these products in your life?
Yeah, yeah.
So how would you describe the feeling of chi energy versus the feeling of like coffee or caffeine, that type of energy?
How would I describe it? So like the caffeine and the energy drink is going to be a quick jolt, but it has repercussions in the long run.
Okay.
But for longevity, the chi energy might be a slow and steady process, but the tortoise wins the race.
Ooh. Okay. So I like this, you know, so the caffeine's kind of like you running a credit card. You're swiping a credit
Yeah,
card.
yeah, yeah.
Like you got to pay that back eventually.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay that back. And I tell you specifically, the gland that's getting taxed is the freaking adrenal glands.
Okay.
Shout out to Dr. Robert Morris. So like, yeah, the adrenal glands is getting hit when you're taking caffeine and like energy drinks. And for some reason, I come from Ethiopia. Ethiopia is known for coffee,
Hmm.
and those things are very. It's like it's cool. It's a tradition, and that's fine and dandy. But there's enough research out here to know that coffee is destroying the adrenal glands and it's not benefiting us in any way other than to get you through the day of your toxic work day.
Hmm.
That's all it's doing. It's just getting you through your toxic work day, and to get through your toxic work day, you gotta take some toxic stuff. But you can get over the game by taking in the subtle energy and be able to do even the toxic stuff in a clean environment internally. So you gotta switch up your swag. Like
Yeah.
this, you gotta switch up your swag because like it doesn't add up. Why? The only way you're doing that is because they built a habit within you to continue doing that because of a cultural thing. So in a way, you're in the cult. So it's just like if you want to be in the cult, be in the cult of the light, where all the benefits come to you and things are much more at ease, and longevity is in your foresight.
Wow.
So yeah, the don't like the coffee, like man, yeah, that the energy drinks. I see it in people's eyes. I see it in their bags in their eyes. It's all kind of stuff out here with that. So if you're a person that's kindly like indulging in coffee, you might want to start looking at different ways that you can get energy to get you out the bed in the morning.
Hmm.
Because this probably a person right now is listening to this. They gotta have coffee every single time they wake up in order to get through the day. That means that you are dependent on something
Hmm.
to a high degree, to a very high degree, and you don't want to be dependent on something like that. I don't have.
Now.
I
Hmm.
never. I never was a person that, even when I was back in the day when I was just just doing whatever, saying following the crowd. I never really got into coffee. That was one thing that um, I always did. I always felt like I didn't like the idea that something I have to take in order to like give me energy. I just didn't understand that from the off jump when they started pulling out that hat trick with the Red Bulls and stuff.
Hmm.
That never registered to me as being like something that is like of the highest nature. It just I
The,
always saw through it. I was
the
just
whole
like,
Red
what?
Bull gives you wings thing.
Yeah, I always saw through it. I'm like, you telling me that I gotta take this to get that, and then that means I create a habit loop where I gotta continually do that. It just I didn't understand it, especially when it comes to like if you had a pain or something like that, and they prescribe you some pain pills,
Hmm.
and it's like dang, so you saying like I got this issue going on, and y'all about to prescribe me something that's gonna benefit y'all forever, and until I'm like if I'm 30 or 21 at the time, and then I gotta take it until I'm 50. You saying and if I don't take it, I'm gonna feel bad,
Hmm.
and it costs. Yeah, I didn't. Those things never registered to me as like making sense.
Hmm.
So like, yeah. But what's the question about?
No, no, you good. So there was like something within you that just didn't. That program just couldn't go into it. Like it never
Nah,
got. Yeah. Hmm.
I always rejected that one. I was just like, I couldn't. I'm like, man, no, I feel like I can do something differently that I'm doing that I know I'm doing that it might be. See, the thing is, people see that it's some changes they can make, but it's such a change that it changes their identity also.
Hmm.
So that switch of the identity is really what people are fighting when it comes to making a lifestyle choice
Hmm.
and a change. That's the really thing they fighting and hanging and clinging on to.
The
So you
identity.
got, yeah, you got to realize that and like be able to make changes in a quick of a drop off a hat. You know what I mean? You got to be able to adapt and like make those changes. And when 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 information and the way information is outletted now, it's like you got to take advantage of that because
Hmm.
the information is there. You can't hide from it anymore. You are not like your parents if you're younger, like if they're like 60 or whatnot, where you didn't see All
Hmm.
right, bet. But yeah, um,
Yeah.
yeah, you
Speaking of,
gotta.
go ahead.
No, no, no. You go ahead.
Yeah, and speaking of parents, you just touched on the parents, and earlier you talked about cult leaders.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember there was a tweet or something I saw you put that said something like "Your mama is a cult leader."
Yeah, yeah. So
Can you explain that one?
I got this little concept going where, and don't get me, don't get on my back, females and nothing like that. Hey, I'm just saying some things, like just because it got to be said. So I got this concept going on where it's like, basically, your mom is your co-leader. And I can't remember the tweet verbatim, but it's just basically like they have you eat the same foods that got their arthritis acting up, and then in the same sentence complain about their maybe sister, your auntie, having heart problems. Like in those two breaths, and that one breath, that same thing would be going on, and then you eat, and then you're consuming that too, and you don't think you heading towards that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do you think you're going? You're definitely heading towards that, because that fuel hookup is like going through you, is going through them, so the results are going to be shown. So
Like
you're
the things that people think run in the family.
yeah. The running the family thing is like, is it has its truths, but it has overcoming potentiality within your choice and your lifestyle to redirect that storyline and that lineage. So you can redesign your cells to operate from a different energy source and a different rhythm that's on a different accordance than anything that your family history has ever known. Or if they did know, it's from a long time ago.
How ancient are we talking here?
Man, yeah, ancient, ancient. It's funny because I'm on this island, Hawaii, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm in Hawaii, on the Big Island, and before any humans like touch down here, I don't know if this, like, of course it's probably some information I don't know, that's maybe what I'm saying is not true. I acknowledge that, but from what I heard from the history that I've been shown, is that this place at one point was really a true tropical paradise, and it really wasn't like, it wasn't necessarily human food or even fruits and stuff like that. Like Hawaii, all those fruits and stuff like that got brought over.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? And the plant life was able to express itself. That's why flowers are a heavy thing in Hawaii,
Mm.
because it was able to express itself without not so many predators. There's
Mm.
no mosquitoes here. That means that nature loves beauty, and that's why like flowers is a big thing here. I'm just connecting that right now, and yeah, that makes sense. So I said, what I'm gearing up to say right now is that basically, in a way, Hawaii was once a breatharian paradise.
Mm.
it
That's mind blowing, man.
it was no. I don't even think it was coconuts here. It was just like,
So everything was brought over. It was nothing was necessary. Nothing was
no,
needed.
nah, no, it was not. It was none of that, and there's no predators here. The pigs and stuff like that got brought over. What else? Mongoose and stuff like that. There's not even rattlesnakes here. There's no snakes. There's no like poisonous bugs like that for real. We got fire ants here because it got brought over.
Mm.
So all these things got brought into the ecosystem due to like travelers and travelers' lack of knowledge on how to um, I don't know, I don't want to say sterilize, but like how to move when you come into a new environment. So yeah, this place was really like at one point, like if somebody was like just get dropped off here at that time period, they'd be in like such a pristine environment
Mm.
that words can't even describe it. I feel like. So
Man,
yeah,
man.
I want to leave that, like let y'all know that that's a thing. Um, it's crazy.
Yeah. Let that marinate, man. It's
Yeah,
like
well, yeah,
we can only imagine.
yeah. You
Yeah.
can only imagine. Like it's over with now. It's over with now. You can never see that kind of side of of a piece of land where it's just like really I need to do more research myself because I wanna dive deeper on it and make sure I'm like saying the correct things. But it's kind of mind blowing to know that this place at one point was just like really just had like a decent amount of plant life and birds,
Mm.
and birds sing a lot of music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So probably the birds is helping out.
I
That's
think we
funny.
can hear some. I think I hear some in the background.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They around. They around.
And also, man, shout out to the sun god. Shout out to the sun god over here. We got he said they aren't genetic running through the family, they are habitual disease through bad eating habits. Loving the platform. Much love, sound god. Sound
Oh
god.
yeah, yeah. You know it.
Man, man, oh man. So yeah, man, I'm just like imagining what you just illustrated, what you just painted the picture of a paradise, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't know that Hawaii was like a real, like legit paradise in the realms of just like it just represents just the whole like the real peace movement. It just I don't know Hawaii. It represents that, and like in its nature of just how it grew and developed from on a biological level and plant matter and things like that, and how it evolved. It has a
Mhm,
really unique way that it evolved, and it needs to be known.
mhm.
And it can help with our evolution and recreating that internally.
Yeah, man. I sort of got a chill when you said it's over with. Like, it's over with now. When you said that, I was like, oh man, like will we ever go back to, or will we ever be able to experience something like that on that level? Because I mean, there's a lot of talk about, of course, the digital evolution going this way, and people are doing the stuff in the simulation, or maybe recreating things in virtual reality, and they're focused on that type of land now. So
Yeah,
the physical land, I guess you're saying, it's over for the perfection that used to be here.
it's over in the sense of like whatever time scale that our mind can comprehend.
Okay.
On those levels, then nah, it could go on and recreate into another petri dish to to resimulate something like that was here before the colonization, so to speak. So that could very well happen, but that's not even really the focus, or even it is just something to know
Yeah.
and to take in. And but the thing is, the cool thing about your environment, I want y'all to really listen to this.
Yeah.
The thing about your internal environment is that when it comes to the external, to move and to like create an ecosystem in a permaculturist way, or like to recreate dynamics within nature to better communicate and redesign pathways for communication to get through and for everything to be prosperous, it takes a lot of physical exertion to pull that off.
Hmm.
A lot. And the biggest stage is always the observing stage, but that doing stage is the thing that must be done if you want to accomplish that. But think
Hmm.
about your internal environment, your internal environment. The thing about that, the effort is only as hard as you make it, and how easy and how accepting you are to allow yourself to let go of things of the past. That's the only thing that can stop that. And your acceleration, they talk about um, technology has a upward swing of exponential acceleration. You had that potential also,
Hmm.
and you do that by tapping into the technology that was always there.
Hmm.
and
But
you want,
the
and
first technology.
yeah, yeah. So it's like, yeah, they creating some cool stuff out here, but it's a work they gotta be put in to get these Teslas into to get these what's it called, these supercharger networks under the ground and laying pipes and blood vessels and I don't know lymphatic systems and all that. You know what I'm saying? Think about the sewer system that allows you to poop into water and then and let it slide. Like think about all the work that it took to do that, and you are without you knowing, have that same system inside you.
Mm.
And they're coming up with challenges because they're creating something and mimicking you. And all you got to do to recreate your technology and bring it up to upgrade it. Shout out Steve Jobs. All you got to do to upgrade it is allow the energy just to come in, just like in qigong, and just allow it to reorganize your vessel.
Just allow.
Just allow.
Yeah.
So like when you talk about climate change and stuff like that, the time when you saw the most wildlife come back was when the COVID stuff. And the same thing is just like you can recreate that same thing of giving things rest and allowing them to like redistribute themselves and reaccumulate to a homeostasis just by you stopping certain actions. Is that simple? With the other stuff, you gotta do stuff. You input. It's a lot. But with you don't have to do nothing, and you're doing a lot at the same time. So it's just like
it's so paradoxical. It's like it's backwards. It's like you know, the whole less is more thing. It's like sometimes it's not so much what you do, it's what you don't do.
Exactly. It's what you don't do. You gotta know your wins and when not to. That's my mom saying that. So your win. You gotta know your winning when not.
Your win and when not. I like
yeah, my bird was cold with that one. You gotta know your winning when not. Cause knowing what not to do is just important than knowing what to do. So, can I take a time? I want to speak on something. It's okay?
Okay, go ahead.
I want to set aside. I've been seeing some people talk down on Steve Jobs recently, and I don't like that. Steve Jobs, and there's a lot of misconceptions. And I have a tweet that I'm gonna put out where I claimed this, and I said this back in I think 2020 or 2019, where I was saying the biggest crime. I'm gonna say it's crazy. The biggest crime against humanity is when they made it seem like Steve's like fruitarian or holistic ways is what led to his demise. That is very, very much hanging over the clouds of humanity and us uplifting ourselves to this new electrical paradigm that we're building currently. And that needs to be re-looked at, and that needs to be taken away from our mental sphere, because that right there is like they did that, and it's like it was not necessary to paint it in that way. And Ashton Kutcher, which is a person that played Steve Jobs in a biopic, he also said that he felt like crap and almost died when he went onto the fruitarian diet. So he's also hanging over the heads of humanity, and not really like letting us push forward into being holistic beings and healing at a true holistic level. Because if it's a person that's on the fence and then they start hearing things like fruitarian, then you got a freaking phone in your pocket that has an apple in it, and you like, oh, didn't a person named Steve Jobs do that and then he died from that? And then boom, right there, it's shut. It's shut.
Yeah, the symbolism is strong.
It's shut. So like, and you know, I'm talking on iPhone right now. I'm sure you are too, and a lot of people looking at this screen is too. So you can't, and a lot of times, a lot of information that we have right now, I know if this iPhone wasn't here, and I probably wouldn't like got access to this information. I was gonna find it at the library probably. You know what I'm saying? Unless I got like a chance to like read some books and like go to India, or like sit in the closet for about 2 weeks and like go to the source itself, and you know, those are all possible.
Right.
But with this right here, it makes it a little bit more easier for everyone to tap in and to like learn from each other. So these information highways were created, and we gotta give a good shout out to Steve Jobs and helping bringing that to connect us on a universal level. And all it takes is just redesign our habits to become better. I talked about this in my other video. Become better stewardess of the internet. As much as we need to be stewardess of the earth, we have to be stewardess of the internet too.
Yeah, that they say the internet, the inner net, and the ethernet. right?
The internet and the Ethernet. Yeah.
The internet, like the inner you, the internet, the internet, and the Ethernet.
Ooh, I like that. Say three of them. He said,
But yeah, you know, it's like I don't know that we would have even come in contact had it not been for this technology. Because I
yeah,
found out about Elitom on YouTube and I was on my iPhone, you know?
exactly.
And that
So
led
yeah,
me to find that retreat that led us to find each other. Like we would have
exactly.
never even come, you know?
So everyone out here that's on some whatever, like stop hating on the technology, man. Stop, cut that out. Stop hating on the technology. Like we gotta stop hating on the technology, man. Like like when it's time to like sort of self bomb and like get away with it, it'll be time. But right now, we still need each other communicating on these pathways. And then when it's time to self destruct it, it'll just self destruct on its own. But for right now, it's a thing called transitional ethics. That's in permaculture where it's like you gotta okay, we can put transitional ethics is basically like yeah. Have you ever heard of this term?
No, I'm fascinated. I'm already with you. I'm like captivated. Yeah.
Yeah. Transitional ethics is a ethic that was applied later into permaculture due to fast-paced people jumping the gun and not being realistic within their lifestyle and within their mission. So transitional ethics is a concept of just basically like giving love to yourself on your walk. That's like a like more like kind of like a way to say it in that kind of realm. But like technically what it is just like you have a goal. Say if it's breatharian, say if it's like a food forest.
Mm-hmm.
That is there. Throw it on the whiteboard, know it's there. As you going through, there's gonna be milestones and whatnot, and you just don't jump the gun and you don't get ahead of yourself. So you apply ethics on your transition. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people they want to just like they just want to jump to a certain level that they're not really on, and then be mad at themselves when they can't maintain it or
Right.
whatnot. So transitional ethics, this is in permaculture and this in the breatharian world also. You see what I'm saying? So these worlds are one and the same. So it's like you instead of like jumping the gun and doing because like say a good example is like okay people in the permaculture realm would be like all right I'm stop using gas and like all right I'm about to start running my car off of like canola oil or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But those things, first you don't have the infrastructure for that to be the best, and then it has some negative like things about it and whatnot. And you're going full throttle, it might be more inputs than needed. But if you do it in a certain kind of way where it's not like overburdensome, you can still do that while making sense using some of the technologies and things that you might not agree with currently. But at least you're making the effort, and you gotta give yourself thanks when you make a little bit of effort to re-look at how you interact on a day-to-day basis with the world and
Mm-hmm.
what kind of impact and what kind of imprint that you're leaving on the world. So you gotta people don't when you do that you just not showing love into your in those micro steps that you're taking, and the fact that most of the people that are on the day-to-day aren't doing even the effort on your slightest bit. So you gotta give thanks and not try to go 100% on it, because then you end up like your foundation is not strong. Then you end up falling into a cave.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So transitional ethics is a really, really, really important and like fun thing to kind of like dwell on. And if you are on a like you know what I'm saying really big on like trying to change your habits, it's okay that if you fall short, but knowing that you are building a foundation for the future to be able to stand on your highest potential. You will
Mm-hmm.
be able to get there, but those steps that seem small need to be celebrated in their glory to the highest extent.
Mm-hmm.
You need to celebrate them, celebrate every step, because like it's not easy to remove things that have been done to you or programs. It's not easy. Those loops are tied deep and it's chained up. It's locked in. It's that. It is that. But you can break away. And with transitional ethics, you can break away. And I don't use that to get lazy. Don't use that to get lazy now. All right, to also don't that's a double-edged sword. Don't like, oh no, turn up when it's time to turn up. Always turn up when it's time to turn up, but chill out when it's time to chill out also.
Rhythm, like there's a rhythm in nature, you know? There's a rhythm, there's balance. So it's like yeah, that expectation. Like
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a little bit of an expectation. That's right.
right. And so I guess, it's kind of like how Ellie Tom would always say, enjoy the journey.
Yes,
Enjoy
exactly.
the journey. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
both of these worlds of permaculture and like breatharian is just like so interconnected that by learning both of them, like it strengthens like holistically because the sustainable measurement and the fact that the breatharian way and the ideal, because the ideal is higher than the ideal is something sometimes is more precious than even the like the physical act of it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
ideal is so like I can't describe it, but the ideal is like high. It's like the ideal is something that someone can damn near like be just a ideal of like seeing someone to be okay and get someone through the day. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then you physically see them, you like, damn, I need all that.
Hmm.
So like the ideal, that's how you know that you can extract something from already one time interfacing with it because the memory is so strong that you can still feel that same presence of that person just from a memory.
Hmm.
So you have resources within memories that you can utilize if you have a full functioning brain.
Hmm.
And in order to have a full functioning brain, you need to be able to have energy running through it on a smooth level.
Mm. It all comes back.
It
It
all
all
comes
comes
back
back.
to that. So that's and that allows you to detach more and more, and then also to connect more and more. So
Hmm.
you gotta understand these paradoxes. You gotta understand these rhythms, like Jerome is saying, to really live a life that is able to fully see the visual spectrum of that this world has to offer,
Hmm.
and it can be paradise anywhere if you gain that skill.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing he showed us too, man. Like anywhere, paradise anywhere, anywhere.
Exactly.
You would see him in all these places, and he's so consistent, bro.
Yep.
Consistent. Like he's like, I'm in that. It's a wonderful world.
Exactly. You already know.
You just be singing everywhere he go and be like, yo, how, But it's like, wow, really changing your environment. Like he would say stuff like, don't wait for the day to make you happy. You make the day happy. You know?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
These these tools is like lifelong like tools that be with you forever.
Yeah. So man, transitional ethics, drawing energy from a lighter source, a more efficient form of energy, and something that sustains you, something that can carry you. And I love your analogy of, the tortoise. You know, it wins the race. It wins.
It totally wins the race
Yeah,
every time.
yeah. Slow and steady, taking your time, not being, displeased or disappointment with you not reaching those expectations wherever you think that you should be or you think that you could be, taking your time and enjoying the journey on the way. Yeah, on the path.
Exactly. Um. Also, what's it called? I think I talked to you about the artist on Juice World, man. It's just like everything is like coming together right now. I feel like,
Hmm.
and I like I don't know if y'all know, but on Juice World's mom, the artist Juice World is an artist that died like 2 years ago now,
Yeah.
on December 8th, and I always had a prediction that like he would like help change the way that the youth interacts with each other and get them to eventually like kind of help them transition off like some of the heavy dosages of drugs that are done in those kind of spaces. And he wasn't able to do it in this lifetime, but from his legacy and him highlighting his struggle with drugs, I think he's making an even bigger impact. And his mom is carrying out an organization called 999 something, I forgot, but it's a suicidal hotline
Hmm.
to like help out anybody that's out there that's dealing with suicide tendencies, to be able to call and to get help in those kind of dark moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the fact that she's doing that is so on board with the whole concept of like starting the healing and like regeneration of the youth,
Mm-hmm.
and they're interfacing with these toxic drugs. And I feel like in the future, on our spectrum, the things that you and I talk about, Jerome, we gotta jolt, we gotta like even infuse like this qigong, like the juice fast, the feasting, the like liquid lights and things like that into that, because it's one thing you can get talked to and like help, but at the end of the day, you are chemistry. You have a chemistry running through your veins, and it's a certain kind of pHs that equate to better mental health than others. So we can do all the talking. You can go to the psychology. You can go. I mean, you can go to a therapist. You can do that to you can do that all day, and a lot of times those things plateau,
Mm.
but the light doesn't plateau.
Mm. Mm.
The light don't plateau. The therapist, they need a therapist. So if that's the case, I don't think God need no therapist.
Mm. The light doesn't plateau. The light don't plateau. I like that, man.
The light does not plateau, and it doesn't need a therapist.
Mm. Mm.
So it's like things are training wheels. Let me tell you
Mm-hmm.
this: things are training wheels. Anything that you're interfacing with, other than your breath necessarily, is a
Mm-hmm.
training wheel to get you to the breath. Always remember that. I'm sorry to tell you and break it to those kind of like in that kind of way, but that's the truth. Like you're using the training wheels and you're doing something to eventually lead you to a path of righteousness, even in your darkest times. No matter what, you always working towards. You're always working towards. You're always working towards, and you're always working towards the light. So once you get to that realization, you gotta start putting an account, practice transitional ethics, but make an effort to rid yourself of these training wheels. So the thing about mushrooms, I never took psychedelics, by the way. I'll
Okay.
let that be known. I never took psychedelics. Never took LSD. Never took mushrooms. Never took any DMT. Ain't never took none of that stuff. And just from observing, I feel like I was always on mushrooms, so to speak, and I always like had that mindset because mushrooms allow you to see how things are built and destroyed.
Mm.
And once you know how things are built and destroyed, you can reiterate and redesign your life to what you please. Once you know the infrastructure of how a car is what like broken down, just by that you can almost become a designer of a car yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just by breaking things down, putting them back together. In a
Yeah.
way, a mushroom is doing that. So that's
Yeah.
why people get insight into the darkness, into the light, through the fruit and body of a mushroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say the other day you were talking about that, Holly. You said we're rebuilding the world.
We re, man, we rebuilding the world, man. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, we are rebuilding the world right now, and it's due in your feng shui and how you like organize your life is going to allow you to feel more of in alignment with this redesigning that's taking place. Like some people can't see it right now, and it's okay, but it's really, really happening. I think since January 8th, I feel like in this solstice and everything, from this time period, I've been seeing more and more people, like even like talking about juice fast. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's more and more people just
Yeah.
coming out of the cut like, yeah, I'm down. I got a little bro back home in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? That he hit me up and he was BSing a little bit for about a solid like, I don't know, probably 10 months or so now. Kind of been BSing almost maybe a year. And I've been, feeding him a little bit here, a little bit there, and listening to some of his struggles. And he's calling me even today, and I think he's ready to put in that work.
Mm.
He's ready to do what he needs to do to enliven his life. So
Yeah.
it's happening all over, and it's just like I'm happy. I'm happy for the world, and I feel like we were built for this.
Mm-hmm.
We made for this transition to happen and see it through.
Yeah, it had to happen.
It had to happen.
Yeah.
It had to happen.
Yeah, same here. I got friends from my old neighborhoods that have made so many changes. It's like you said before, sometimes you don't even need to say too much. Your energy, it speaks for itself, and people pick up on that energy signature, and you might be affecting people that you don't even know you're affecting. And they start making change just off of your energy, just
Exactly.
off of seeing you. And I think I've had the most effect on people who know where I came from. Like, they know me. They know the me that y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so seeing where I came from, that, and seeing where I am now, they like, yo, anything is possible. So it's like, yeah.
What Ye said? You said you can get through anything. It's magic made it.
Mm-hmm. 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 So
That's
yeah,
funny.
man, it's inspiring, man. And I feel like this is definitely the time. And like you said before, not to fight the technology, not to be, angry with it, but to use it. Use it to put these messages out there, to speak on this, and to allow these to get through the interwaves. Like you said, we're on a live stream right now, but we're in a live stream. You know, I love when you said that, bro. It just reminds me. It's a reminder.
You said we in a live stream, but we in a live stream.
We in a live stream, So
That's funny.
So we will definitely stay tapped in, man. And
Oh yeah,
man, just thank you for coming on here. I really appreciate you, bro. Man, my brother, before he said, George, he was saying your background is bomb. He was complimenting your background.
oh yeah, man. We big boy in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Chilling right now, man.
But man,
Anybody, hey, come out to the Big Island. I'm on the Big Island. Anybody wondering? I'm on the Big Island. Come out. We having fun out here, man.
Much love, man. But definitely appreciative and just very grateful for your insights, brother. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you too, man. You're a legend, bro. You're a legend.
So working towards, man. We gonna stay working towards.
Working towards, yeah. Working towards, yep.
All right, family.
All right, man. See you soon, man.
Take care.
Bye.